boring. Yeah. Fuck this game. So, here's what I'll say. Story outstanding. Combat pretty darn good. Graphics great. But when it comes to the side content grind of the game, the exploring, the optional areas are great, but the multiple hype in this version, in my opinion, is actually way stupider and worse than the one in the first game.
I've never rage quit ever in my entirety of existence on YouTube. Never once rage quit, ever. Well, apparently people think I'm a rage quitter. What I'm going to do now is upload the finale to DSP Gaming, and thank you all for the support today as well. It was a pretty good supportive stream here with got a few new members. We got some tips. Thank you for that. So tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, continuation of Resident Evil 1 Remake. I have no idea why this is so slow. Fuck all this. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind.
You ready to make history, homie?
On January 13th. Hey there.
The party of the year arrives. Is LeBron home? I was hoping to show him something. Yo, man, whoa. Sign my jersey.
House party. Rated R.
Hey!
I suspect the cloud's judgment regarding
I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Don't let Anderson or anyone else get in your way.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Oh no, what the hell?
You see,
I didn't even know you could do what they just did. Look, I didn't know that. I had no idea what was rooftop to rooftop. I thought that was too far away. So that was just lack of knowledge. Lunch. I'm trying to land it in too hard. So what, you ready to be at the beginning of the game? What the fuck? Wow, you want to talk about bad luck? Never.
if your investigation doesn't make progress soon,
Okay,
you
no.
have to replace it. I know I wish to see you. All I want is time. Something's happening.
Yeah, baby, wipe the feet myself.
Take a look. Guys, this is terrible. You know, right now, contributions are absolutely abysmally bad.
Fuck, hopefully I make it. I don't know, man. That's it. He's shooting my ass. I'm trying to zigzag. Look, you're telling me I couldn't zigzag. I was zigzagging. Fuck this game. No, really. I'm zigzagging. The guy's purposely hitting me back with that fucking gun. Fuck your mother and fuck you, Infinity War. You suck. No, it's not realistic. He's not gonna hit me from that far away with that kind of fucking gun. I don't want to see my stats. I want to spend the game to try and get me. You suck.
Over 1,800 milligrams of sodium. So guys, if you would like to support the stream in any way, I would really appreciate it. You can see I am doing my best here. Alright, now keep in mind, not every night is there going to be a win. It was absolutely amazing last time around when I got that win. But, you know, if you like the stream, if you enjoy my Warzone gameplay, anything would help. A simple like on the stream for engagement, a super chat, a super sticker, a membership, a gifted membership, a tip. All that stuff helps. That's how I make my living. If you can support the stream tonight, I would really appreciate it. And thank you to anyone who does. I appreciate the bounties. I'm doing my best. All right? Doing my best. We'll see what happens. I absolutely rely on tips, and I can't get rid of them. I need them to do things daily, every week. You know what I mean?
Don't know where he went. He went this way. There he is. I'm stuck. Are you shitting me? Look, I'm still glitched. I got glitched on the ledge. I got glitched on that ledge and couldn't move. You saw the physics switch, right? I couldn't move forward, and I couldn't move at all. My character was wedged on that ledge between the ledge
Watch your step. Don't fuck up my craps.
Like, I guess I'm too old for that.
Fucking prick.
And I realize that I am one of the older content creators when it comes to gaming. We are halfway through tonight's stream.
Alright, well, let's have a
Thank you to everyone chilling with me here tonight. I hope you're enjoying it. Again, I would appreciate some support tonight simply because I think a lot of people are hitting on bounties. As you can see, it's not going so well tonight. It appears that the bounties are not, I'm probably not going to get any. Let's be honest. I'm still trying. I'm not giving up. You understand, I'm not giving up on this. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to try to still do well, make top 10. But, we'll see what happens. Anyone who wants to support the stream, it would be great if we could now, since we got an hour left. All right? Remember, contributions are mandatory and always will be mandatory. Wait, contributions are not mandatory and never will be mandatory.
Plus, they really don't have those right out here. There's not many Italian restaurants to begin with. Now let's fight. Get ready to fight. Oh, the gulag.
Made their way up through the whole building, past all the guards,
He rage quit!
jumped off the roof
He
with
rage quit! Oh my
Pretty
god,
fucking
he
impressive,
rage
I'd
quit!
say.
Are you fucking serious?
How'd they manage to smuggle in a big bag like that?
They didn't. Someone brought it in for them.
Come on, you saw how many times I hit him? Did you seriously see how many times I hit the fucking guy? He will not die. Satan came for me. What did he say? Satan came for me? That was his quote. Satan has come for me.
Playing Wordscape's only 10 minutes a day sharpens your brain. How many words can you spell from these 5 letters? Wordscape's challenges you to find as many hidden words as you can in a really fun way. Solve puzzles in beautiful environments, all while training your brain to stay strong.
What the fuck was that? That was hilarious. Oh, on my screen wasn't even facing me. You saw that, right? On my screen it was facing completely the other direction. Yeah, this sucks, Zach.
That is trash gameplay.
What the fuck? Who is it? Enemy UAV overhead. Oh, I have full armor and I opened fire on him before he ever pulled the trigger. How did that make any sense? See, the game sucks.
There's the salt. The delicious salt.
I'm not supposed like that. Gulag, gulag, kick your ass in the fucking gulag. Podcast, go watch that. Get the full detail of it all. Are you fucking kidding me? I filled him with bullets. Look, the game even shows me filling him with bullets. He doesn't die? How can you tell me that this game is fun or fair? I filled him with bullets. And he hits me with a shotgun and kills me. Fuck, why is this game so bad? This is so bad. And what a waste of my time. That was what, 15, 20 minutes? Like, come on, man.
Again with this salt flavor. Oh. Hopefully we do better this time. Basically, I have like 2 chances left. This chance and 1 more chance for a good run. And if I don't get it, basically this was kind of a shitty wasted night, which obviously I don't want to have a shitty wasted night. This would kind of be like the equivalent of the last time, where right before New Year's Eve, where I couldn't get any bounties. Which I really hope I can get some bounties, man. I'd love to get some more support. I'm really trying to earn it. I am. I'm trying to earn it from you guys. I'm doing my best here, but the game is really handing me a bunch of Oh, everyone, please contribute so we can really stick it to those trolls tonight and make them upset.
Hope for the best, hope for fair firefights, right? Now, I'm in a room and a guy runs up in front of me and I unload my full auto 5 attachment assault rifle and literally unload the entire... Here we go again. You tell me. I'm waiting for him. He walks through, I unload into his face. I die. Well, this is like the 5th time today, and I'm getting really fucking tired of it. I'm ready for him. I'm waiting. Full armor, unload into the face. Why the fuck do I die instantly?
Okay, salt. It's even now, get my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
Fucking waste of time. Instantly killed? I fucking help, dude.
He rage quit. He fucking rage quit. Live stream, he rage quit.
I have full health and to drop on him, I get instantly killed with one shot. This game is fucking terrible. Terrible. It's not for skilled players. It's complete RNG random I have full health. And I unload on the guy. One shot. I do one more shot to kill. Oh, he just instantly killed you.
Alright guys, this is going to be the last match of the night. I would appreciate it if you could support the stream in any way. Last match, you know, if I do well, great. If not, you know, I did my best to entertain you guys and to give you, you know, I can't do the bounties every night when it's that bad. Like, literally, every fucking match is bad tonight. I don't know what else to say. I'm ready. I have full armor, great weapons, loaded up, locked and loaded. They walk to my line of sight, unload, they won't die. There's nothing I can do about the game being shitty. Nothing. Phil has the pignosis. He mind and brainwashes his viewers into contributing. Alright, I received a $25 gift from Auto. Negative money creature.
What the hell? Are they shooting at me? Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. I did... Nice. Thank you to the $5 tipper. Again, I can't really update the leaderboard or anything. I got damn it, third place. Close, good one. Good match, very close, down to the wire, third place.
Thank you all. That was pretty good, huh? So thank you guys. Great. I would say overall a fun night in Warzone. It certainly could have gone better, but at the same time, having that top 3 finish was really nice at the end. Let's bust out our mobile phones and let's get ready to play mobile games. There's still this back here, and it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phyllis indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone. Just gone like that. In an instant. Fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you.
At Sprouts, we work with the best farmers and trusted brands to bring you great products that help you keep feeling your best. This week, get 20%.
Now let's play the game.
right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
I received a belated Christmas gift tonight, which was very nice. What I received from a viewer. Yeah. Pokemons. Pokemons. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Pokemons. A Pokemon vest. How cool is that? That's actually really neat. Actually custom made. It was actually off of someone I guess makes these on Etsy. And
No signs of forced entry.
I guess the story is they'd actually ordered this for me while I was at first like starting the playthrough of Pokemon Scarlet. But because of the holidays, you know, everything gets backed up. And I guess they had ordered it hoping it would come during the playthrough. Well, it did. We only have like 1 or 2 streams left of Pokemon Scarlet and the playthrough's done. So it kind of is a little unfortunate because obviously this would have been perfect for the entire playthrough. If we hit a best ball, I could have wore it. At this point, we only have tomorrow and then likely Saturday to wrap up the playthrough. So we're probably not going to get much opportunity or any opportunity to really wear it during the game. Of course, exactly. There will always be another Pokemon game, undoubtedly 1 to 2 a year. And, you know, there's still a little bit of time. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we will hit the full support goal during tomorrow or Saturday's remaining Pokemon streams, and we'll have a nice Pokemon vest.
Money. Where's the money?
So, as you guys know, any contributions tonight are greatly appreciated. I shout out any contributions, and, you know, we have various rewards in effect as well. So basically, anything helps the stream. Liking the stream helps for engagement, brings more people to the stream because it puts it into the YouTube algorithm, more people can find it. If you would like to, you know, help out in a really quick, easy way, please give the stream a like tonight. Outside of that, super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, tips, all help. We have rewards in effect. Raise $50, Gunner Glasses, raise $100, you can vote on that you have to be aware. And if we happen to get tips goal of $150, you can vote on best. Why not throw the Pokemon vest in there? Not saying you want to see the Pokemon vest on Resident Evil stream, but just to say it's in there, it's in the running.
This message is the hope of a future. You gave us life. And now the time has come for you to give us
you're a loser.
If Family Guy had a central villain, it's certainly Carter Pewterschmidt. He's ignorant, cruel, and an influential member of Quahog's elite. So whether he's hiding the cure for cancer or pranking poor orphans hoping to get adopted, Carter is the embodiment of evil.
Okay, I guess you don't want a new family, toys, and a puppy.
So in this video, we will cover the life story of Carter, spotlighting his worst acts, as well as unveiling some rare humane moments. This is the complete timeline of Carter Pewterschmidt.
Hey, I got an email from Mr. Pewterschmidt.
His early years. Now, there's not a whole lot we know about Carter Pewterschmidt's childhood, but in the season 11 episode, The Old Man and the Big C, we do find out that his parents were wealthy, but weren't around too much to raise him.
What if the maid who raised you because your parents were too wealthy and busy got cancer?
You mean Mamie?
And it's not hard to see that the absence of his parents contributed heavily to his own neglectful parenting. Talking of family, we're also aware of his Aunt Marguerite, who lived the same decadent lifestyle as him. But unfortunately, she soon died after her introduction in the Season 2 premiere, which also happens to be the same episode that introduced Carter to the show. We also learn that in Season 16, he has a German grandmother hiding out in Brazil.
She wishes you a Merry Christmas. That's not what she said.
Meeting Babs. While Carter seems to be an absolute selfish douchebag, he has somehow managed to maintain somewhat of a stable marriage with his first wife, Barbara Babs Hebreberg. Even though he's done plenty of things over the years to sully his vows. The two met when they were young at the beach, and while Babs and her friend was playing with a giant beach ball, Carter was having a drink until the ball made him spill it. So he did the only thing he could think of, and knock her out. And this super unpleasant experience sparked a passionate romance between the two of them. Carter was just so impressed how Babs could take a punch.
445-585.
From then on, their relationship was tested for matrimony before the Great War with Alaska broke out. A war caused Fort Raven and barely survived a battle with the walrus-backed Nanuquafa. But despite this intense combat, Carter always took the time to write to Babs. But Jewish religion, vacation just so he could go to the country clubs.
Run a diagnostic.
It was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do.
All systems fully
Now
operational.
Carter is ridiculously cheap and isn't willing to help anyone but himself. So don't be a Carter and let's spread some love by subscribing to this channel. It only takes a second and it makes me incredibly happy. And it allows us to grow and unite as Family Guy fans everywhere. Thank you so much and let's carry on ripping Carter a new one. Being a terrible, terrible father. Now, the Peter Schmidts had 3 children, Lois, Carol, and Patrick, the latter of whom Carter locked up in an institution after he stumbled on his mum going down on Jackie Gleason. Carter hid this from his daughters, and Lois only found out about her brother much later on in life, and by then, this instant traumatized Patrick so much, he became the Fat Guy Strangler. Growing up, Carter always put business over his own family, never attending any of Lois's piano recitals.
We're gonna search your memories and tear you apart piece by
His parenting
piece.
style took an even darker turn in
You're
One
going
Big
to be
Bad
destroyed.
Carter, where we
Do you
hear
hear
him
me?
mumble this in his
Destroyed.
sleep,
It's okay, Lois. Daddy's just taking your temperature.
hinting that some abuse occurred in Lois's childhood. Now, I know Family Guy has some dark humor, but this revelation is seriously messed up. Like Carter, Lois was mostly raised by her nanny Meredith, until one day she abruptly quit. It only came to the surface years later at Meredith's funeral that Carter actually had an affair with Meredith, and when Babs found out, she was fired. Carter, of all people, should have known how special and compensating a relationship between a child and their nanny could be. But at least he did try to make up for it by building a pub outside the manor, similar to the one that Lois and Meredith used to visit, and allowing Lois to come and visit it if ever she thought of her. In season 2's Let's Go to the Hop, Lois revealed that on the night of their junior prom, she was kidnapped and held for ransom. And despite being told that she'll be killed if Carter doesn't follow their instructions, he stands firm on the family policy not to negotiate with kidnappers. He reaffirmed to Babs that she'll be absolutely fine, and I guess he was right in the end. Anyway, Carter's always been a very controlling parent. It was revealed in season 4's Model Misbehavior that Carter put an end to Lois's aspiring model career. Something he tries to repeat later on in life, even though she's now a fully grown adult.
This is ridiculous. No daughter of mine is going to be happy.
Meeting Peter Griffin.
Before we were using Monday.com, our team was drowning. Our days used to split between work and managing work, but Monday.com just took care of all of the management, so we could simply focus on the work itself. As soon as we started, we were building and running workflows that made it really easy for us to work together. It's such a visual platform.
It's a deviant.
We immediately get a sense of where everything stands. Create teamwork to processes across departments. Like, for example, the team is far more efficient now that they're automatically notified at each stage of the process. Cuts out a lot of those sync meetings, because now we're all in sync. I mean, yeah, we're...
To say that Carter and Peter's relationship started on the wrong foot is a complete understatement. Upon meeting him, Carter immediately resented his daughter's obnoxious oath of a boyfriend. So like anyone that pisses him off, he knocks them out with a bronze statue. Not only that, but he also dumped him naked in the middle of the ocean. And just when Carter thought he'd heard the last from him, he came across Peter in his jacuzzi asking for his daughter's hand in marriage. He even offered Peter $1 million just to stay away, but Peter refused, and luckily Lois heard all this while standing behind the door. While Carter's first attempt to stop them didn't work, Peter and Lois did break up. But they remained friends when moving to New York City, which we learned in season 18's Peter and Lois's wedding. Carter took this as an opportunity to arrange some suitors for Lois, and it worked to some extent, getting her engaged to Tom Tucker. But Peter, he managed to win her back. When Lois broke the news to her father, he was remarkably understanding about it, and even offered to pay for Peter's bachelor party at the MTV Beach House. But of course, Carter was really plotting to destroy their relationship for good by planting 90s icon Daisy Fuentes into the party and paid her to kiss Peter on national television.
Lois saw this and decided to resume her wedding plans with Tom Tucker. But moments before they exchanged vows, Peter interrupted and Daisy Winters admitted that she was paid by Carter to kiss Peter. Peter then proceeded to kick the crap out of the entire family before finally getting married to Lois.
Go away.
From then on, Carter almost always despised Peter, but there was a rare time when Carter threw him the odd bone. In season 3's Screw the Pooch, Carter finally changed his mind about Peter after showing him and his friends a fun night out. But despite finally getting Carter's approval, Peter can't obey his wishes to testify against Brian in court. Instead, Peter gives the court a positive assessment of Brian's character, and Carter's disdain for Peter returns to the status quo. Here's Marriage Woes. Now, while there was an initial romantic spark between Carter and Babs, it soon fizzled out as their marriage became more and more about money. When Carter loses his fortune in the season 4's Peter erotica, Babs quickly leaves him and marries Ted Turner, only returning to Carter once his fortune returned. Now, that's not to say that Carter is entirely innocent in their relationship, having committed adultery a fair few times. Peter even catches him in the act in season 9 and tells Babs. And after being kicked out of the house, Carter finally learns genuine remorse from Peter, and she decides to take him back into her life, which goes down as one of the more positive ways that Peter has impacted Carter. This humbling lesson ends abruptly, however, in season 15's Carter and Trisha, where he dumps Babs for the news anchor Trisha.
You ever been with a man who's got a prostate the size of a beefsteak tomato?
This actually turns out to be a sham relationship, and what's worse is that he sent his wife to a psychiatric institution for freaking hours.
Hey, whatever happened with Grandma?
Yeah, that's what everybody was thinking about me. Trust me, she'll come back if we need her.
You can put her to bed and I'll bring her something to eat.
His relationship with Brian. As mentioned earlier in the episode Screw the Pooch, Carter was angry with Brian when he gave in to his animal instincts and humped his racing dog. When Seabreeze got pregnant, Carter took Brian to court to assure he won't be allowed to see his puppies. However, it turns out that Brian was not the father of Seabreeze's puppies. They were actually Ted Turner's. So Ted not only screwed Carter's wife, but also his damn dog. As well as this, in season 7's 420, Carter bribed Brian to campaign to illegalize pot, shortly after working very hard to legalize it. Despite its benefits to society, it lost him a whole lot of money from the timber industry. He succeeds in bribing Brian by promising that his book, Faster Than the Speed of Love, will finally be published. And although Brian's book failed to sell a single copy, at least Carter got what he wanted. Now, Carter may be the type of elitist that a liberal-minded intellectual like Brian would come to despise, but that all changed in season 15's The Finer Strings. When Brian served as his service dog while recovering from cataract surgery, Brian started to enjoy both the elitist lifestyle and Carter's company. And so he was disappointed when he was no longer needed once Carter's sight came back.
What are you saying? I'm saying I'm done with you.
So, desperate to get another sip of the rich life, Brian and Stewie blinded Carter again by spraying toxic water from Lake Michigan into his face. But thankfully, this was all quickly wrapped up using the hasty plot resolver lever, and everything returned to normal once again.
Looks like we've learned a lot, and my face is better.
Carter's relationship with his grandkids.
YouTube Music Premium is an experience that gives you complete control of your music, so you can listen without ads.
Carter may have dysfunctional relationships with his wife and kids, but he does show a softer side with his grandkids. Out of the three, Carter spends the most time with Chris. In season 5's No Chris Left Behind, Carter uses his influence to get the reasoning-spelled Chris into his alma mater Morningwood Academy. He also invites Chris to become a member of the school's secret society.
I don't realize that I made you wrote this world thing yet. You'll be back on your TV
was a very good thing, seeing as the initiation involved spending the night with Herbert the pervert.
I'll get these
However, the two really bonded in season 12's Fresh Air. In it, Chris looks after his granddad while recovering from a broken leg. And despite his initial grumpiness, Carter does learn how to have fun by himself with some weird assist from Chris.
Hey, next time I want to try with mine.
This leads on to Carter and Chris having some more appropriate fun together, like starting a rock band. Later on, when Chris refuses his money, Carter names him as the sole heir of his fortune. This kind gesture backfired, however, being Carter giving Peter the idea to marry Chris. Yeah, it's a super strange episode. And just so you know, mercifully, Peter and Chris don't actually get married by the end of the episode. Thank God. As for his other two grandkids, Carter doesn't have a whole lot of memorable moments with them. Well, except for playing Russian roulette with men while driving. His business ventures. Now Carter, he's a workaholic. Not only does he run some huge companies, but he also wields plenty of power and influence from behind the scenes. He will say and do anything just to line his pockets, no matter how devastating the impact will be. In Season 10's Tea Peter, Carter disguises himself as a blue-collar worker to exploit the newly formed Tea Party with the intention of getting rid of the government. And once the cohort government ceases to exist, Carter dumps all of his toxic waste without a care for the environment. But the holy grail of Carter's dark secrets is revealed in Season 11's The Old Man and the Big C. In the episode, Brian catches Carter in the hospital looking frail and sick, being told by a doctor he is just 2 weeks to live. But when they see him again hours later, he's surprisingly fit and in very good health. So, driven by suspicion, Brian and Stewie discover that Carter hired scientists to discover the cure for cancer in 1999 and kept it a secret. Well, he knew that there was a whole lot more money in treating a disease rather than curing it. So Brian tells Lois, who then tries to convince her father to do the right thing and announce the world that
I left them in the dirty clothes. Yeah, they're in the dirty clothes now. Oh, okay.
After a heartfelt speech, Carter promises to do just that until he says, "Good Lord, Carter, just when you're about to fully redeem yourself." It goes to show that even when it seems like Carter's heart movement is still a deception and he will always revert back. But in spite of everything, Carter briefly feels regretful of his past actions in Season 17's regarding Carter. Following a near-fatal gunshot wound to the head by Lois, Carter loses some of his memory, and while recovering with amnesia, he's horrified to realize the many horrible things he's done, both in business and personal life.
From now on, I'm going to be a better father and grandfather.
So he decided to retire and give all of his money to charity. But once again, this kind-hearted Carter didn't last too long, because when Babs found out he was giving away all of their wealth, she shot him in the head. Fortunately, he recovers again and goes back to the Carter we all know and loathe.
I can't waste time with you. I'm a cutthroat businessman. Ah, the gunshot changed the facts.
And so that is the life of the irredeemable Carter Puget-Schmidt. Do let me know which character you'd like to see in the video next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I love her more than anything. What will I do without her?
South Florida's newest Chevrolet showroom is now open at Rick Hendrick Chevrolet Naples. Visit the new...
What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and it appears as if there are some new twists and turns in the Evan Cockerham story. If you're unfamiliar with who Evan Cockerham is, or the story surrounding him, I suggest that you watch my last video. Evan's family personally cleared up some of the details surrounding his mysterious disappearance for me, and hopefully I do a good enough job in that video clearing up some of the details surrounding his mysterious disappearance for you all. Now, as I reported to you all, Evan's vehicle was located, but Evan is still nowhere to be found. I believe it was December 16th, when December 16th law enforcement was able to locate his vehicle. It was abandoned in a shady part of downtown LA, and it was impounded.
Yes.
So like I said, Evan nowhere to be found. They found a lot of wires and electronic devices in the car. I believe Evan's bags were still in the car, and Evan was someone who traveled with not many belongings. So, I mean, his family believes that a lot of the belongings that Yesterday,
We'll go to prison, Mom.
he was able to go
Do you
look through
understand it?
Evan's vehicle.
Prison,
Now, I
Adam.
don't know why
We've already
law
talked about
enforcement
this.
has not
Oh,
found
no.
this stuff. I don't know if they even
I won't
looked
back
through
down this
Evan's
time.
vehicle. I'll have to speak
You're
with
gonna ruin our
FS
lives, and for what?
personally to find
For a
out
bunch
those
of machines?
details.
They are not
Right
machines.
now,
They're
I haven't talked
alive.
to them to
I'm
clear this
alive.
up. But it
You're
appears
alive.
to me that law
They're
enforcement
nothing.
didn't really even search through this car.
And none of this would be happening if Dad is still
I will not stand for that kind of talk.
I'm not going to prison because you want to help these freaks. That is enough, Adam. That's enough.
On December 6th, he was last spoken to. On December 6th, his vehicle was found abandoned December 16th, 10 days later. Well, SF investigators searched through this vehicle and was able to find this receipt.
Since his dad passed
And
away.
the date on this receipt is, I believe, December 15th.
But he's a fine boy.
Now, in case you're unfamiliar with Evan's story, at first everyone
I'll go see
thought that Evan was
tonight.
carjacked for his vehicle and held captive.
I won't
Now,
go.
he kind of was, but maybe not in the way you're thinking. Evan is a really nice, kind-hearted young man that I don't think he's used to the city life. I don't think he understands how mean and evil the world can be. You know what I'm saying? I think he's kind of naive to how bad people can be. You know what I mean?
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need to try these Delta 9 gummies from Mood. I always get my products from Mood because they carry the highest quality, lab-tested products in the industry. And these smell and taste so good. I actually have to be careful not to eat too many before the high creeps up on me. I know what you're thinking.
So someone asked Evan to help them find their dogs. Evan's like, come on into the vehicle to go find that guy's dog. Next thing you know, the situation turns sour. The dude kind of takes over Evan's vehicle. I'm not so sure if it was necessarily by force or by intimidation, but, you know, Evan's riding around with this guy for days on end. Evan finally gets away. Evan calls his mom, gives her all of this information, tells her he's meditating with impressive on the beach. So it's unclear if this receipt really belongs to Evan. Just because this receipt was found does not mean it belongs to Evan. In fact, Evan already reported to his mother that his vehicle was basically taken over before December 15th. But there's been a lot of confusion, and even myself, I was kind of skeptical about the story. I didn't know if maybe Evan was calling just giving, some type of story to his family that was different than what was really going on in his life. Because the story sounded weird, but it makes a lot more sense now that I've gotten more details and I understand the type of person that Evan is. So, I'm not sure who this receipt belongs to. Now, of course, they know where this receipt came from. And I believe today there's work going on behind the scenes to see if they could find security footage from this
The police.
story, see if it was Evan
It's the police.
or someone else.
What are
But
we gonna do?
that was not the only
They know
piece of
we're
evidence found in this vehicle.
We have to open the door.
Now, when I first brought you all the story of Evan Cochran,
I knew this was gonna happen.
And like I said,
I knew
was
it.
skeptical myself. It was talk of this guy who basically took over Evan's vehicle. Well, SF Investigates was also able to find
Hurry, take
a
Alice and hide
driver's license
upstairs.
Come on,
belonging
Alice.
to a 21-year-old male. Now, the picture's blocked out, the name's blocked out. I'm sure that SF Investigates, as well as I'm sure he's gotten investigators from LAPD in on this now as well. I'm sure now, well, hopefully now they're following up leads with this. But this ID has been found, which even in the most skeptical person's eyes, this adds a lot of credit to the story that Evan gave his family. Who is this 21-year-old man? Why is his ID being found in a car that does not belong to him? let alone a car that belongs to someone else who no one can find. Like I said, I'm sure we will get more details about this soon. But right now, that's where we're at. But there's also one more thing.
Good evening, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you. We've had reports of androids in the area. With all this deviant business going on in the county. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
If she needed her to send him an old iPhone.
May I come in?
Of course.
Evan Cockerham, from what I've heard of him,
Evening, young man. Good evening.
He doesn't sound like your average run-of-the-mill 21-year-old guy. You know, young folks these days are so wrapped up in social media, they're on their cell phones.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
I'd love it. Have you noticed anything unusual
But Evan
recently?
was like more in touch with nature. Evan wasn't the social media.
Unexpected
Evan
visitors?
didn't have to post on Instagram
No.
every day. Evan
No, nothing in
didn't need the
particular.
likes. Evan had a whole different vibe about him. I don't believe this phone.
Is anyone else in the house?
No.
The
No,
ID
just us.
obviously is not.
Do you have any androids here?
The receipt
No, there are no androids here.
probably doesn't belong to him. I don't know where Evan is right now. Like I've said, I have confidence that he is okay. I'm hoping that he is okay. But whoever that ID and that phone belongs to holds a lot of the answers to the questions that we're asking. And I hope, and I pray, that they get to the bottom of it. Now, as more updates come in, I will be right here to tell you all. I'm sure we're going to be getting some updates soon. I believe there will be a Twitter Spaces later tonight, although I cannot remember the time off the top of my head. But if you're not on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. And check that Spaces out later for that information. And whatever information is relayed there, if anything new comes out there, I'll be sure to report it to you all here. But for now, I can't help but just wait. I guess, just wait in anticipation to find out, because this is a lot. You might say, oh, an ID, receive a cell phone. It's like bingo. This is like.
I thought there was no one else in the house.
I forgot who's on. There's my daughter upstairs.
This is, I believe, possibly one of the keys to finding out what happened to Evan and where the hell Evan is. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.
What's your name, son?
Apple turnover is delicious.
Adam.
Employee turnover,
My name is Adam.
yucky.
Is everything all right, Adam?
Retention through better training. Keep and scale your team with training.
The androids,
He needs a rest. He's been working in the garden all day.
Do you know anything about deviants? Have you seen any?
No. No. I haven't seen anything.
I better go. Thanks for the coffee. Have a nice evening. Is somebody else in the house?
It's nothing, the washing machine. It's an old model, it makes a terrible racket.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Good evening, man. Good evening, Adam.
He's gone.
It's okay, Alice. We'll be safe now.
It's Rose.
Get yourselves ready. We leave tonight.
broadcast is all over the news. We got what we wanted. Now humans know.
It was a mistake to reach out to them. They'll never negotiate with their slaves. We should have shown them that we're prepared to fight.
Violence is never the answer. Dialogue is the only way. I'm sure the humans will listen to us.
They'll be watching us now. Whatever we do next, we need to think about public opinion.
Since our broadcast, more and more have been coming to Jericho. At least our message gave our people hope.
Killing humans wasn't part of the plan.
They kill our people every day. You think they agonize about it?
That's no reason for us to become murderers.
If killing is the price of freedom, I'd be glad.
Killing never freed anyone. It just leads to more hatred.
You're too fond of humans, Josh. Maybe their lives matter to you more than ours.
If you think murdering humans is gonna make us free, then you're as bad as they are. That's enough.
And I know a lot of people manipulate these families into coming onto their YouTube channels and speaking to them so they can get their own attention and clout and stuff like that. I'm not accusing everyone of doing that, but there's a lot of channels out there that do that. I typically do not reach out to anyone involved in these cases. Sometimes they reach out to
There are 5 Socrates students, all selling us like merchandise.
We're gonna attack stores. Attack stores? We've never done that before. They're probably protected. They have security systems. Not to mention police.
We break into 5 towers, 1 for each store. We hack their security systems, we strike. Simultaneously at 2 a.m. No violence. We free our people and get them out of there before the police come. This is a night our people will remember.
But now that I heard from them and I know a little bit more about Evan, everything is really starting to make sense now. Now,
I've been waiting a long time for this.
Point, of information that they want me to go over with you all. But first, I want to talk about the initial story and where we are at now, because this will clear things up for a lot of you all as well. I don't even know where to begin. Let's begin with like the use of words. And a lot of the viral posts that are out there says that Evan was carjacked and basically held captive for days.
It's okay, they're gone.
They used the word carjacked because
There's probably even more police in the area. We should be careful.
used in a post or a certain amount of words you can use in a post. It's an easy way to describe what kind of happened to Evan, but it's not exactly
The store's over here.
Evan, if that makes sense to you all. Like, to really explain what happened to Evan, it would take a while. Like, I'm going to explain to you all in this video, but it would take a while. It's something that you wouldn't want to put in a post that you're just trying to get, brief information out there for people so they can try to find Evan.
That's where we are today.
Well, Evan wasn't necessarily
Just
what you would
merchandise on
maybe think was carjacked. If anything, he was kind of swindled, finessed.
Let's get him out.
We'll stick to the plan. Neutralize the alarm systems and secure the area. There's 10 minutes until all our teams attack.
Individual. Someone who doesn't like
waiting
I don't want to use the word timid. I don't like using words for people who I don't know, but from the way they described him, he's a really peaceful individual. You understand? And he's someone who's not used to streets, if you will. So, while Evan was in LA, it appears that like some junkie or something
Found it.
told Evan that, hey, I need help looking for my dog. Evan being the kind-hearted young man that he is, and Evan not really knowing how people really are out there, Evan decided to help. And then next thing
Where do we start?
days later,
I identified the security system. I think we'll be able to deactivate it. Just follow me.
and I feel like a lot of it was intimidation, and there's people out there who have a hard time saying no. And there's swindlers out there that look for those type of people. A lot of times we call them city swindlers. You see, I've been fortunate enough to live both types of lifestyles. I understand the more laid-back way of living, the country way of living, if you will. And I understand how fast-paced big city life can be as well. But often, people from small towns, people who aren't really used to the big city life, they go to the big city and they get swallowed up. Because the people out there are a whole different breed. They're a whole different animal. And there are people out there that prey. They purposely prey on detours and out-of-towners who aren't as street smart, if you will. So what started with, hey, can you help me look for my dog, ended up in basically this dude taking over Evan's vehicle. And I'm assuming from what I've heard about Evan that he just isn't the type of guy that was, going to necessarily get into a physical altercation with the guy. Maybe he was intimidated, scared, and then again,
you're awake now.
It's not like
Go
Evan
to
is
jail.
on his home turf at home. Evan's in LA. I know he was maybe somewhat familiar with LA. I'm not sure how familiar, but he's out there in this city, in this big city, if you will. And he even made some remarks to his mother about how people were out there in the streets. They would beat you up and spit you out. So of course the initial story that we heard about Evan was carjacked, kidnapped, he broke
Markus,
free,
watch out.
called his mom, but didn't call 911. That's not necessarily how the situation played out. In my opinion, we don't know exactly what happened here, but it seems like Evan was finessed and swindled by a con man. And Evan finally got away from this situation because I think the dude finally fell asleep after being up for like 3 days on some type of substances. So the story, it's not
Surveillance drone.
the exact
We
story
need to get rid
that
of it.
we heard,
It won't be easy to reach.
but it's similar to that story. Yet, in my mind, it's way more understandable. And all of this makes sense now. In that Twitter Spaces, hearing more about Evan, it makes sense because I've seen things like this happen to people time and time again. You get eaten up, spitting out in the streets.
You're free.
Really from those areas, and if you don't know it, you also operate in those areas, and there's people out there who purposely go outside every day for the sole purpose of trying to take advantage of kind-hearted individuals that may be gullible enough to extend a hand of help.
Exactly what
Here's
we need
happened
to
here.
run
Evan extended a hand of help, and it winded up going horribly wrong. And Evan winded up just getting finessed off his vehicle and everything. Now, his vehicle was actually found, and from my understanding, there were some belongings in there that I believe belonged to Evan. And I believe Evan's bags were in the vehicle as well. Now, in my last video about this topic, I made a point because we know that Evan was out in the LA area. He was looking for somewhere to yoga. He was looking for somewhere to meditate. He even told his mother that after this crazy
Okay, now we're in.
he wanted to go
Let's
to
get
the
that
beach
truck
and
out.
meditate. Now, when I first heard that information and I hear that someone's seeking out a place to meditate, somewhere to calm their mind, it immediately makes me think that maybe they're going through something.
I wonder what you'd do without me.
Why are you seeking out a place to meditate if you aren't going through an internal crisis? So I believe that maybe Evan was going through some type of stuff mentally. He was battling some type of demons inside, and he was actively looking for somewhere to go to battle these demons, to meditate, and yoga. Who knows what Evan was doing? But after sitting in that Twitter Spaces and hearing more about Evan, it turns out that's totally
Looks like we're ready to make some noise.
Evan's that chill dude that when you're chilling around the campfire, you'll probably look at him and he's over there meditating. Evan's that guy. Evan wasn't looking for somewhere to meditate necessarily because he was going through a crisis of his own. That's just Evan's vibe. And the more I heard about Evan, he sounds like someone who's a really cool, down-to-earth individual that's really in touch with nature, in touch with his
I knew we'd end up doing
and
something
I
fun.
feel like Evan was on a journey to better learn about himself. So my initial thought was, I don't think that's the case anymore necessarily. Evan was into meditation. Evan was into the outdoors.
forgot about the drones.
The cops are gonna be here any minute. We gotta go.
Wait, Marcus, we can't just leave our people behind.
It's too late, North. We failed.
This offense is being reported to the police.
Marcus, we did it. All teams succeeded. Our people are free. We're headed back to Joe.
Shit! We screwed up. Our people are still prisoners in that fucking store, and it's all our fault.
No, it's my fault. I missed this. At least our other team succeeded.
How could you get this so wrong? I thought you knew what you were doing.
I did what I could. I'm sorry that's not enough for you.
No, it's not enough. This is a war we're fighting with the humans. Failed to destroy us. The fate of our people is in your hands. You have to succeed. You have no choice.
Evan said he would check with the closest post office to get it mailed to him since he was traveling. On December 6th, Evan Facebook messaged again and said no on the phone, and that LA had. On December 6th, Evan Facebook messaged again and said no on the phone, and that LA had done a number on him, and he wanted to meditate and decompress on the beach. She asked if he was okay, and he said he didn't realize there were so many shady people out to pick your bones. And that's the exact quote from Evan that I was talking about. And that is the God honest truth. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to experience both ways of life, and it can be a real shock for someone who comes from a small town or someone who, you know, like in my situation, I'm someone who comes from the South, where I'm.
Kamsky left Cyberlife 10 years ago. Why did you want to meet him?
This guy created the first android to pass the Turing test, and he's the founder of Cyberlife. Anybody can tell us about deviants, it's him.
What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Oden coming back with a box office breakdown for the past weekend, which saw Avatar: The Way of Water continue its box office dominance, flying past $1.7 billion, well tracking ahead of where it is projected to be on the charting based off of the first 2 weeks. Again, typical performance for most films. This film likely to cross $2 billion pretty easily. The question is, how much more above $2 billion does it get? Is it $2 billion to 2.5? That's kind of the range that I'm looking at right now based off
Lieutenant Hank Anderson, Detroit Police Department.
this film has indeed doubled what it
Mr.
made,
Elijah
getting very close
Kamsky.
to doubling what it made in the first couple weeks of its release, which does make a lot of sense, seeing that it did have a Christmas and a New Year's within its first 2 weeks, meaning that those box office numbers probably got impacted to some degree, people watching it after the fact when they actually had the holiday, actually had the break.
A little
And again, the
agitated,
legs of the
but
film
please make
have
yourself
been
comfortable.
incredibly strong, and the word of mouth, at least according to places like Rotten Tomatoes, etc., have been relatively positive when it comes to the audience scoring. Though I think that when you talk to just regular, everyday people, I do think that there is a large contingency of people that are either just diehard fans of Avatar, diehard James Cameron fans, but then you also have a lot of people that are just not really blown away and not really convinced by all of the magical CG effects and can't look past the actual narrative story flaws. And so I think that you have these two different groups out there, because let's just say I know a lot of people who love this movie, and I know a lot of people who hate this movie, and those two groups absolutely do exist. So we'll talk about what this film is doing. I do, of course, love how in their headline they're kind of being disingenuous, as is typical for mainstream media, saying it's now the 7th biggest movie ever. Yes, before you adjust for inflation. And I know there are people who apparently are getting triggered every time I mention even the word inflation, but the point is, and the fact is, you have to consider it. It has to be brought into account, because the fact is, one, the dollar today is not worth nearly as much as it was 10, 20 years ago, let alone even 5 years ago. And also, the number of tickets that are being sold today are far less than what they were the same amount of time ago as well. We have to keep in mind that when it comes to Avatar: Way of Water, it has probably, if not on record, very close to on record, the highest average ticket price for any movie, because of the vast majority of the showtimes being in IMAX 3D and 3D. So we have to all keep all of these things into account, to be honest, to be nuanced with this approach.
Nice
because
girl.
is the film making money? Well, depending on whether you believe James Cameron or the studio, it could be either yes or no. Again, I go based off of the studio, and based off the studio, this film has already made what
Nice
$5
place.
million in net gain profits. So again,
These androids haven't been a bad thing for everybody.
but if you look to James Cameron's numbers, or at the very least what he has
About to make some
indicated
makers,
by
huh?
his numbers, according to the man himself, he said that the film, just again, this was just from an interview a couple days ago,
It doesn't raise an
he's
existential
7
question.
days out from hitting the break-even point. So who knows more, James Cameron or the people who are getting orders from the studios as far as budget, as far as marketing campaign is concerned?
I'd have a
Does
couple
James
of things
Cameron give it a number? Does James Cameron, as the filmmaker, have a good idea of what the film actually costs to make and what the actual money being put into the marketing budget actually is? I would say that as the director, writer, and producer of the film, I would say his word probably is to be taken pretty seriously. But it is interesting that when it comes to that dynamic, more people are willing to say, no, you're just misreading what he is saying. And he's gone on to clarify what he has said, and he just reiterates the same point, saying, well, some people have said $2 billion, and I never said that. I just said that it had to be one of the highest grossing films of all time, which, yes, if you look at that number, that list, that happens to be films that, made $2 billion.
Mr. Kamsky.
Really, we're actually a lot closer than that. It's actually a lot
Just a moment, please.
We're a few days away. And he was saying this when the film had already reached 1.6, 1.7 billion, which makes me think, okay, so is he saying that the break-even point is going to be around 1.7 billion? Is it going to be